Hi, welcome to Oxford Business Tutor, and I'm George Vlacker-Nicholas, and today I want to talk about mission statements. Mission statements are something that have cropped up in other videos, particularly when I'm talking about aims and objectives, but it's the mission statement in itself that I just want to concentrate on this particular video. So if you look in any good textbook, they'll always have a definition of a mission statement, and it normally goes something like this. It's a qualitative statement that sums up the business's main goals or the business's main aims. Qualitative means just wordy, yeah, as opposed to quantitative, which means numerical or mathsy. So with quantitative data, you can measure it by numbers. With qualitative data, you're not. You're kind of hearing what people say, or you take some words and you're measuring it that way. It's a lot harder to measure. And that kind of gives you a feel for what a mission statement is. It's basically a sentence, maybe a couple of sentences of words that go to explain what the business is trying to do. I have a real pet hate with mission statements. I think a lot of them are terrible. And when I'm thinking about that, then I'm also thinking, well, what is the use of having a mission statement if it's terrible? Now, I'm going to pick up on one, and it's going to feel like I'm slagging this company off, and I don't want to do that because it's a company that I use quite regularly. So here it is, Starbucks. Yeah, as I say, I knew I was going to slag it off slightly today, so I went and bought a Starbucks just to make sure that they had £3 of my money, which I thought was adequate compensation for me to just look at their mission statement and kind of pull a few faces, which I'm already starting to do. So Starbucks mission statements read something like this, and I better get it right, okay? So to inspire and nurture the human spirit. I'll say that again. To inspire and nurture the human spirit. Now, there's a little bit more after that, but let's just concentrate on that. To inspire and nurture the human spirit. I mean, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Now, if I'm an employee at Starbucks, I'm looking at that and I'm also similarly thinking, well, what does that mean? How am I being judged on my performance according to that? How does my manager know that I'm inspiring the human spirit today, or if I'm nurturing the human spirit today? So I was kind of thinking, well, why would anybody come up with that mission statement for, essentially a coffee distributor? Is it because it sounds good? Is it because it sounds pretentious? Is it because it sounds like it's got a high moral value or something like that? I mean, I just don't know. And I really don't think it does Starbucks any favors, okay? I can't imagine that their employees are coming into work every day with that as the mission statement, thinking, right, we got to be doing some inspiring of the human spirit today. I don't know. So, by contrast, previous career, I used to be in the army. Now, the army relies on this culture of mission command. What that means is basically superiors hand down orders, what missions to subordinates. And they're very clear on what those missions are. And if you're ever in an orders group in the army, you've got your one-up chain of command giving you a set of orders. They repeat it twice. And the whole objective is to be very clear on what the mission is. This is your mission. Go and assault the position at the top of the hill, grid reference, XYZ, whatever it might be. Okay? And everybody knows, or everybody should know at the end of that orders briefing, what their mission is. And it's very clear. The whole point about the army is that you have to be crystal clear, specific, succinct, to the point. And that's kind of a good way of thinking about missions for me. Because if I'm an employee of that business or that organization, I know exactly what it is that my bosses want me to do, and I know exactly how they're going to judge me when it comes towards my performance. So how do I think we can write good mission statements? Well, I think first of all, you've got to be inclusive when you write that thing. Yeah, you've got to include your employees within that. That's not to say that you have to compromise your mission statement in any way to account for everybody. Not at all. In fact, I think the less compromised it is, the better. What we don't want is some weak, watered down mission statement which tries to appeal to everybody. Actually, we want a very direct, blunt, specific mission statement that says to everybody exactly what it is that we want from them. So I think you need to be inclusive. I think you need to bring people on board into the writing process, and whether or not their views get taken into that mission statement is kind of immaterial. As long as they've been part of it, they can understand why it is that you've written the mission statement that you have. They may disagree with it, they may have written something different, but at least they have an understanding of where you, as the boss, are coming from. And they should therefore be able to jump on board with that, okay? The next thing is that you better communicate your mission statement, okay? Everybody better know what it is. And again, this is why it comes down to being so dreadfully, you've got to be dreadfully clear when you write these things, okay? Because once you start communicating it, you're letting it out of the, you're letting the genie out of the bottle, okay? People can try and interpret it in their different ways. Managers can try and interpret it in their different ways. And really what you want is, you don't want too much of that different interpretation. You don't, okay, it's not micromanaging. You want to be able to delegate responsibilities and let people come up with their own solutions to problems, but you do want them focused on the task, okay? And if you have some watered down, pretentious, effective crap like nurturing and inspiring the human spirit, well, I'm afraid as a manager, I could go in a very, very different direction to a different manager, and we could end up with very, very different looking retail outlets. We could end up with very different customer service. We could end up with a whole different business because you as the boss haven't specified what you want from me in your mission statement. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. Mission statements to me do have a use if they're written well and if they're communicated well. But if they ain't written well and they're not communicated well, then I'm afraid sometimes I just don't see the point, okay? I just don't see the point. I feel like people are writing these mission statements just so they can have good PR. They can put it on the website and their customers can see it and go, ooh, that doesn't look cool. But, make sure it's concise, make sure it's specific, make sure it's to the point, and don't leave anybody, don't let anybody kind of get their own spin on it, okay? You need to know exactly what that means, okay? And I'm afraid I don't know what inspiring and nurturing the human spirit means in any way. That's it from me, okay? Good luck.